You're watching the First and 10 High School Football Show, brought to you by Blake Utter Ford in Denison.
Welcome down to Gunner, Texas, home of the 3A state champion Gunner Tigers. And over the next half hour, we have all our schools south of the Red River covered, from one of the toughest districts in 3A to new head coaches in Wyatt Wright and Tom Bean, and of course, the state champion Gunner Tigers. We have it all covered right now on the KTEN Sports First and 10 High School Football Preview Show. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gunner, Texas. The 2017 high school football season is just about a week away, and we'll get everything started right here with the state champion Gunner Tigers. Now, Gunner has been on the doorstep of breaking through on the state level for the past decade or so. They've won 7 district championships in the past decade, 2 regional quarterfinal appearances, and of course, last year they won that state championship. So what's next for Gunner and this Tigers program? Well, KTEN's Brendan Agans is standing by with Coach Jake Fazell with more. Brendan, what do you got?
Thanks, Dan, and I'm here with a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyways. This is Coach Jake Fazell joining us of the Class 3A Texas State Champion Gunner Tigers. Coach, thanks for taking the time for us.
Appreciate you having us.
And obviously the question everybody wants to know, you come in this season having had a lot of success last year. How do you kind of not rest on your laurels and keep motivated for this 2017 season?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's no question. There's I'm sure going to be a little bit of a target on our backs this year, but you know, our kids are used to playing in big ball games, and we're excited about the upcoming year. We've had a great winter, off season, great spring, and a really, really great summer. So, you know, I think that as long as we go put great practices together in fall camp, we'll have an opportunity to win some games this year.
And you had a great year last year. You have a lot of returning guys coming, but also some new faces. Who are some guys maybe we remember from last year to watch for, and also some newcomers that we might be surprised at starting the year?
Yeah, you know, I'd like to talk a little bit about my offensive line. I mean, Adrian Martinez at center, Ryan Caskey, Colton Schmitz, Jose Rocha. You know, those are and Kenan Majors. Those are guys that I think really need to have a great year. They've had a great off season. And you know, I think those guys are poised to play really well. So I'm excited to see what they do this year.
And as a full team, every year in high school football specifically, the personality of the team is different each season. Yeah. What do you think makes this year's squad unique?
Well, you know, we're gonna find out. You know, I think one of the reasons we were able to win a state championship last year is because of our team chemistry and the bond that they had with one another. You know, so that's extremely important. So, you know, that's something we emphasize is playing for the team and being a part of something bigger than yourself. And then, you know, also of becoming close with your brothers on that team. So, you know, we're gonna certainly emphasize that this year, and hopefully that comes to fruition.
And the entire Texoma community is going to be watching. We'll be watching too on KTEN. Thanks for taking the time for it with us, Coach, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
And we'll send it back over to you, Dan.
Thanks, Brendan. And now we go to Class 5A, where the Denison Yellow Jackets made the playoffs last year for the first time since 2013, and they want to do it again this year. Now, that young team from last year has another year of experience, and they're ready to get to work.
Hey.
Everybody's excited this time of year.
Dude, I'm about to have a lot of fun. Football is back, and we're getting after it today. Pretty excited.
Everybody's dreaming the big dreams.
I think we can make the playoffs again. I mean, I just hope we can go further in, and that would be pretty special.
The class of 17 put the foundation down, so all we really have to do is build up on it and bring everyone along with us.
I mean, you're in Denison, so if you look at that record board, you ought to have high expectations. These kids need to have high expectations. So, you know, we expect you need to win your first ball game, you need to win your first district ball game, you want to win your last ball game. And you want to just take care of business in between.
Favorite part, it wouldn't even be playing on the field, it's the bond in the locker room. Pretty much unbreakable. They have always had my back regardless of how I've acted or treated them, and I have their back no matter what.
It's kind of sad, it's kind of bittersweet because it's your last time to go, but also it could be the best.
You want it to be great. That's what, you know, we've been pushing all off season, and that's what they're responding to. Like I said, everybody's dreaming big right now.
Well, heading southbound 75, it was a completely different experience for the Sherman Bearcats, missing out on the playoffs by a mere 13 points. But now in J.D. Martinez's second year, and also with returning star running back Nathan Amayabu, the Bearcats are ready to break through.
It feels great to get out here and get it and hopefully go to the playoffs this year. It's just that mindset and that coming out here the first day, missing it and missing the grind. We're just ready for everything this year. We're just putting in the work and practice, and it feels great to be back. Everyone's mad that we came short last year to Denison, and we're just ready to get out here.
I always talk to our kids that, once we get going, shoot, I think we work harder than any group I've ever been around.
Us being close, it allows us to just be relaxed and to still practice hard but not feel pressured or any type of way, just to be one big family, and that feels great.
When he speaks, kids listen. He's a guy that's been in the fire. He knows what he's talking about, and they really respect him because he works his butt in the weight room. He works his butt out here, and why would you even question Nate Amayabu? Because you see what he does.
We really want to aim for the playoffs. We haven't been there in a while, and we're aiming for a district championship actually. So we're just going to work every day hard and do what we got to do to get there.
Now those two teams met last season in a battle of the axe, though we remembered for a long time. But the 2017 meeting will likely, at least for the time being, be the last one that has district implications. This past March, the UIL announced that the 5A would be splitting into two divisions. Now that means Denison would be in 5A Division 2, while the Sherman Bearcats would be in 5A Division 1. And we talked to both coaches, and they said this would not impact the actual game and that the game will continue without the district implications. Still to come here on the KTEN First and 10 High School Football Preview Show, we'll take a look at the highly competitive 5-3A Division 1 district and more top plays. Number 5, Bells and Tom Bean. Brian Ponder throws it downfield to Dylan Porter. He gets behind the defense, picks up a key block at the 50, and he's off to the races. A 70-yard pass and catch. We'll have more top plays when we return. Welcome back to the KTEN First and 10 High School Football Preview Show. Now we just took a look at one of the best rivalries in the state, but now we'll take a look at one of the best districts, that 3A5.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's very rare that you have a district that's this closely contested. It makes for a really, really exciting regular season. Now, we know last year the Pottsboro Cardinals took home the championship in that district, but it's anyone's guess who's going to take that district home in 2017.
But we have to start with the district champs. They've earned that title not just last year, but for 6 consecutive seasons. This year, they're going for number 7, and it's a title that the Cardinals would love to have. Pottsboro knows they will get the best shot from the other 5 teams in the district, and head coach Matt Poe says winning 5-3A is at the top of the list for 2017.
Our number one goal is win the district championship. That's what our goal is every year, and we're going to try to do that again. And we have a tough district. It's a lot easier said than done. The big deal is if you can stay healthy through that district. You're playing it's such an intense district that it's hard to stay healthy too.
How about their rivals in the Battle of the Boroughs? Whitesboro, the only team to beat Pottsboro in district play last season, and it was the first time someone did that since 2010. Eddie Gill returns a lot of talent, including more than half of the starters on offense and defense. The Bearcats are well aware of the tough task it is to dethrone the Cards, but also the district is a full 5-game slate.
It's a challenge, and I think we all know that. So we come into every game knowing that we can't just come in and just blow over everybody. So we come in determined and aggressive enough to come out here and win it, just like every other week.
The Howell Bulldogs are ready to contend for the district title, but they'll look a little different this season. They're switching over to a wing tee offense, which means more passes. With incoming freshman Kirby Kohili, Coach Zach Hudson says playing in the district will help the Bulldogs get over some lumps and ready for the postseason.
3 out of the top 7 teams in the state of Texas are out of this district year after year. So saying that, it helps a lot. And when you go play somebody else's number 2 or number 3 team, they're not as good. You can't look past anybody. You got to do what you got to do. You got to prepare yourself and have that in mind.
A few miles south on 75 in Van Alstyne, the Panthers finished 4th last season and are ready to improve upon that. Experience will be on their side this year as they'll field 17 seniors. The Panthers haven't won a playoff game since 2013, and head coach Michael Miller says even a winning record doesn't guarantee an 11th football game.
It's a gauntlet we got to run through, and so just to get better every week, it's pretty brutal. I mean, every year it comes down to, week 10 to figure things out, and usually the last couple of years anyway, there's been a team that's won 7 football games that didn't even make the playoffs out of this district. So I always say it's one of the toughest ones in the region for sure, if not the state.
As you can see in here, all 4 of those teams like their chance in this highly competitive district. Brendan, I'm going to put you on the hot seat now. Who you got?
I'm going to go against the grain. I know Pottsboro took the district last year, but I'm going to go with the Whitesboro Bearcats. I just love what we've seen from them early in the season, practice-wise, and Coach Eddie Gill's team returns 15 starters. I think that experience is what it takes to get it done in this competitive district.
Write it down, put it in ink, whatever you got to do. Brendan is going with Whitesboro. I'm going to go chalk on this one. I'm going to go with the Pottsboro Cardinals once again. I just really like that offense. Hunter Watson, a second year under Coach Poe. I think that's really going to help elevate his game here in his last season. Coming up next, we take an inside look at the fresh coaching faces in Texoma, their plans to rejuvenate their respective programs.
Before we head to break, here's a look at our number 4 play, Pottsboro and Gainesville. Miles Mitchison returning a punt. He finds the seam and blazes a trail. We saw him do that plenty often last year for the red and white. Pottsboro would go on to win it 49-21. Still 3 plays to go and plenty of Texas high school preview to go when we return.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, we all know what it's like to be the new kid in school, having all that learning curve that you got to deal with. We have a lot of new coaches in the area here in Grayson County.
Yeah, I kind of know how they feel. It's my first year in Texoma as well, so I'm coming in with these coaches. Obviously, it's going to be a little different. There's some adjustments that takes place with a new head coach, but sometimes that can be exactly what a team needs to rejuvenate their program.
And that's exactly what all these coaches are looking to do. We'll start down in Whitewright with head coach Mason Edwards.
Off that near leg. Hit.
Edwards takes over a Tigers program that went 3 rounds deep in the playoffs in 2016, but graduation hit them hard. They only return a few starters on both sides of the ball, making it a learning experience across the board. Still, Coach Edwards says it's all about building off the recent success the Tigers have achieved and continuing the foundation of winning football.
There's a lot of tradition here, and there's been a lot of success. Before I got here, there were some down seasons. Coach Williams did a great job of setting the foundation, getting us pointed in the right direction, and we just want to continue with that.
Tomcat, position,
The Tom Bean Tomcats begin the Tim McFadden era, but he's far from a stranger to the North Texas region. McFadden has had roles at Denison, McKinney, and most recently Pilot Point. The Tomcats are coming off a 5-1 record in district last season, but fell in the first round of the playoffs. Coach McFadden says there's a lot to like about where he's at now.
We're a small community, and it's a great opportunity to grow and build something. Pepper was stepping away on his own terms, and I had watched Pepper and watched these kids and competed against them at Pilot Point, and I love Grayson County and the kind of kids it has, and it was just a great opportunity for my family and myself.
Right down and get there. Set! Do it! Get there, let's go! Down in Collinsville, Dale West takes over a Pirates club that ended a 2-year playoff drought last season. In 2016, the Pirates hit their stride in a big way, going 9-3 overall, 5-1 in district play, and a trip to the second round of the playoffs. Enter Coach West, who comes over from nearby Howe, and he feels right at home and ready to get the first game under his belt.
Very fortunate to get a job like this as the first one. Usually you walk into a 0-10, 1-9, 2-8 situation. Coach Dave and the whole staff did a fantastic job here. They had laid all the groundwork, and I just got lucky enough, and God put me here and my family here in the community, and very fortunate to be here and to get this job as the first one for sure.
Oh, it's been great. I've loved every change we've had, and it's definitely benefited us.
And now the Texoma Christian Eagles. This will be the second year the school will field a varsity football team, and they're ready to get back on the field. Scott Ritchie takes over the head coaching duties. He's coached multiple sports for multiple schools across Grayson County. TCS has the smallest numbers, but for Richie, he is treating it like the other schools he found success at.
To be honest with you, it's just, I just try to use the same style I use, where I've always coached. And so I'm not a micromanager by any means, and so I let people coach, I let my coaches coach, and I just do what I need to do.
Team unity was a big thing last year that I don't think we ever gelled together, but I think this year we're going to, that's what we need to do. We need to gel together and we can work together and just go farther.
Now, all of the coaches might be entering their first season as the head coach at this school, but it's far from a new rodeo.
Yeah, exactly. These coaches all have great pedigrees. It's a change of scenery, but they will be trying to implement their own personal styles of coaching and the things they do best into and mesh that with the already established football culture at each of these programs.
And we'll have to see who hits the ground running first, who gets that big victory in week 1, that first win under the belt, and see how they do from there. Coming up next, we take a look at a group of schools that made the playoffs last season and won even more in 2017. Play number 3 from the 2016 Texas high school football season, Austin Zimmerman from Bonham keeps the read option, goes between 2 defenders, spins out of a third, and it's all turf from there. A big play for the Warriors en route to a big win. Top 2 plays from the season are on the way next. Welcome back to the KTEN First and 10 High School Football Preview Show. Now, it's one thing to make the playoffs, but all these teams have that goal in mind, and that's to celebrate a championship down there in Jerry World.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We all know Texas high school football is a different animal in itself. There's no moral victories. It's that Al Davis mentality of just win, baby. Now, we're going to look at a bunch of schools that made the playoffs last year, but are looking to take that next step to be true state champion contenders in 2017. In Bonham, we all know the challenges that await the Purple Warriors each season in their uber competitive district, but the 2017 Bonham football team is not shying away from any of them. After a great offseason and energetic first few weeks of practice, all signs point to a playoff return for this group of Warriors.
Our first round playoff game, we lost, but we played a team that went undefeated in their district, and we outgained them by 400 yards and lost the game in the last minute. That's our fault, but you're exactly right. So we feel like our district, if you do get out, does prepare you for that next round and the round after that, without a doubt.
The SNS Rams are also very familiar with the playoffs. They've been every year since the end of the 2012 season. Jace Howard returns to the quarterback position after spending last season as a wide receiver. He's one of many players with starting experience that grew into leaders well before the start of camp.
Our summer numbers were as good as they've ever been, and we've got some kids that came out this year that didn't because they said, hey, so-and-so came and told me I need to come out. And so we've got some kids that are really buying into the program, doing everything we ask them to do, not being selfish, just putting the team first. And when you do that, you got a chance to have a special season.
The Bells Panthers, known for their offense, return a core group of athletes in 2017, and Coach Scott Ponder says there's a lot to be excited about. On offense, quarterback Brian Ponder is back for his junior season. He'll throw to Hunter Hawthorne plenty, you can count on that. Coach Ponder says the only thing stopping the Panthers from a big year is keeping consistent. And so far, he likes what he sees.
Everybody'd like to do that. It's a lofty goal for us, but at the same time, we think we have a chance. We're hoping for good health and the kids to do a good job. A lot of factors that play into that, but so far, the kids are saying all the right things, and it's very encouraging where we're at right now.
The Tioga Bulldogs are in their final season of six-man competition, and they're ready to leave their mark. The Bulldogs made it to the quarterfinals last season, and this year they want to replicate that performance. Coach Patton returns 4 starters on both sides of the ball, including some seniors that are ready to leave it all out on the field.
I want to go as far as we possibly can go. When the season's done, I want to feel like there was nothing left in our tanks and we gave it all. That's what I want to do.
I think we'll do pretty good if we keep it the right mind and don't get in trouble, stay on the right path, and we'll be where we were last year, I'm pretty sure.
I think there's a lot of kids out there that take football for granted and they're not getting better every day, but these kids that are coming out here are getting better every day, and that's going to help us accomplish our goals.
Now, obviously, all these schools can't wait to get the season finally kicked off after a month of practice here in this Texas heat.
Absolutely. It's been a long couple weeks for players, coaches, and even us reporters, and I know all of us can't wait to kick off the 2017 football season.
No doubt about it. Now, one thing that we love as reporters going out to these schools is some of the answers that these kids have to some of the questions. Here are the best ones that Brendan and I picked out from the past month. So, Joseph, what year are you and what position do you play?
My name is Josiah.
Oh, Josiah. Pardon me. Josiah.
Yeah.
Gonna break 94 this year?
No, we're not.
I'm gonna have to go with Fuzz. Definitely Fuzz.
Oh, you got a piece of grass on your nose. So, there you go. Okay, you got it.
I honestly don't even remember how we gave him the names.
Yeah, we gotta do that over. You gotta trust each other and just, I guess, be a team. Come together as a team.
I just love that. That's one of the best parts about this job is just talking to those kids and look at all the fun they're having.
Absolutely, and that's great to look at the start of 2017, but as we finish this preview show, let's take a look back one more time at the top 2 plays from the 2016 season.
Play number 2 from 2016, and we find it at Munson Stadium. Battle of the Axe, of course. Sherman up 2 when Trey Lide scampers to the left, breaks upfield, dives to the pylon, and he gets in. That gave the Yellow Jackets the lead, and it was one they would not surrender. Dennison takes the 4-peat in the Battle of the Axe, 35-30, while eliminating Sherman from the playoffs in a back-and-forth game that will go down in the history books as one of the best ever for the longest-running rivalry game in the state of Texas.
Come on with it.
But for play or moment number 1, it's again the Gunner Tigers, steamrolling their way into the 3A D2 state championship game and not letting off the gas one bit. Colson Stovall ran for 180 yards and 4 scores. Dylan Jantz rushed for 48 yards and a touchdown. He'll be back for 2017. Expect a big year from him. And the Tigers didn't give up an offensive touchdown. All that together is a recipe for a state championship as Gunner beats Bowling 43-7, capping off the best season in school history, as well as the 2016 football season for all of Grayson County. All right, I suspect we'll have plenty more plays like that coming up in 2017. Well, that will about do it for us. We hope you enjoyed our football preview show, and it's finally time to kick this season off. We'll see you every Friday night right here on KTEN or on a football field near you.